There were also allegations yesterday, and I'll address this one to Herman Manyora. There were allegations yesterday that all these threats of maandamano and all this, and if we're looking at the cost of living and taxes, there were allegations that they alluded, that is the Kenya Kwanza side, but it is former President Uhuru Kenyatta who is behind these calls for maandamano, because he does not want companies associated with his family to pay tax. So it is said that he's the one who is sponsoring this whole clamor.
I don't know what happened to the celebrated thinking in the 90s that African leaders should be encouraged to retire. You know, I know we forget very fast. We were stuck in the politics where nobody wanted to retire. Mainly because, not just because power is sweet, of course it's sweet, but mainly because people feared after leaving office they'll be haunted and hunted and persecuted. So when we reintroduce the same by roping in this Uhuru thing, I think we are going back to what we didn't want. But more fundamentally, Uhuru wanted to kill Chebukati, or so it is said, because it's government. And Raila asked, just as I also asked, how difficult would it be for a president to kill an individual who is guarded by the state, by the government, headed by that president? I mean, now, if Uhuru wanted to mess these elections as head of state and head of government, what could be easier? You know, we just hear talk of deep state, you had a deep state, you had system, but an outgoing president has the capacity to mess an election, has the capacity to do a lot of things to make it difficult even if you take over. So why would he peacefully vacate State House, leave power, then you begin associating him with schemes to mess? I mean, it doesn't add up. The logic just refuses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you agree, Dr. Oloo? Does the logic refuse?
You know, the logic refuses. I think what the Kenya Kwanza team is doing is continuously making allegations, and these allegations are not going to stick. They hounded Uhuru, they denigrated the issue of handshake. I mean, they just did not, they were contemptuous. And by the way, let me also put this on record. They are receiving the same treatment they were giving Uhuru when Uhuru was the president. Now they are on the receiving end, they want to go and revisit Uhuru. I mean, this country sometimes we have very short memories. When these people were in opposition while in government, they were a thorn in the flesh of Uhuru and handshake. Now they are in government, they are still going for Uhuru who is outside government. So what they are doing is that they are creating a script, or they are keeping to the script, which essentially will mean that those inside government don't have the legitimacy, those outside government are the ones who have the legitimacy, because they are questioning everything government is doing, and therefore they are looking good. When they were out, they said cost of living was very high, borrowing was rampant, they were going to bring down these things. Today, they continue those issues unabated. Now, the other day I heard, eventually they said Huduma number was, you know, waste of time, waste of money. Remember, Huduma number costed a whooping 10 billion plus.
19 actually.
19 billion. Now, you want to dismiss it and you want to bring something else which will cost us several billions. So what kind of wastage are we talking about? So at some point we must call the people in government to account for their statements and for their, you know, utterances. Because you can't keep piling costs on Kenyans. Now, look at it. You go on a Sunday, a day of rest, you parade civil servants, you use public resources to go and pray. When I go to pray, I don't use public resources. I should not use public resources. Those are for public functions. So going to pray is a personal choice you make. Now, what wastage is that? If Uhuru was wasteful, then are you now going to compensate that by being wasteful equally? So the question is that we still need to see the real promises that we were given, the real Kenya Kwanza that we are looking for. For now, it's politics 2027. And for that reason, the opposition are right to also organize in view of 2027. unless they change tact, we will see more politics.